Hello and welcome to this brief SlideShare presentation about the documentation that should accompany your art or craft when shipping to a store, gallery, or exhibition. My name is Harriet Estelle Berman. I'm an artist and author of the Professional Guidelines, the blog Ask Harriet, and co-organizer of the Professional Development Seminar. This information will refer to 7 PowerPoint presentations from the 2012 SNAG Professional Development Seminar about shipping. All of these presentations are available on the Professional Development Seminar page on the SNAG website and my website. The links to these web pages are at the end of the presentation. The most important information to accompany your art or craft is your contact information and inventory list, invoice, or shipping receipt. This goes inside the box. I can't stress that enough. This goes inside your box and not in one of those plastic sleeves taped to the outside of your box. During her PowerPoint presentation, Layla Hamden, a museum registrar and artist, said,
"One thing to note, and probably even write down, is always include your contact information inside the box so you can be found should the outside label be torn off. And this does happen a lot.
I recommend including your name, mailing address, phone number, and email. This way, all possible methods of communication are available when your box is opened at its destination. An inventory list, invoice, or shipping receipt is also important to be included in your box for a number of reasons. Tina Pint of Jewelers Mutual thought it was essential to document the contents of the box before shipping. Then when the box arrives, the contents can be double-checked against the invoice. This is incredibly important if you are shipping small items like jewelry. If the box was slit during shipping and resealed, missing items will be recognized immediately. Tina Pint from Jewelers Mutual, in her lecture Insurance Considerations for Safe Shipping of Jewelry, describes this scenario.
Enclose a detailed packing slip. It's going to tell what is in the package so that, for instance, if you shipped 3 diamonds to a lab and there's no packing slip, they grade 2 diamonds, let's say, they ship them back, and then the retailer's saying, hey, where's that 3rd diamond? Where's the proof that there was a 3rd diamond in the package?
Perhaps your contact information, an inventory list, invoice, or receipt can be one piece of paper, like this example. Shipping art or craft for an exhibition should include more extensive documentation. A minimum is a condition report. This was mentioned in several presentations during the Professional Development Seminar about shipping. Everyone can find an example condition report in the Professional Guidelines. This PDF document is filled out before the work leaves the studio so you can verify the condition of the work. Don't hesitate to be really fussy about this documentation of your art or craft. Museum registrars will always note every mark, scratch, even the slightest imperfection. When your artwork arrives at the exhibition location, the registrar or staff will think you are professional. The Professional Guidelines Condition Report can be found on my website, shown on these images, but it's really a very long URL, so I made a tiny URL. That's all you need to write down to find an example of a condition report. Additional documentation in your box is optional, but recommended. I include instructions for unpacking, assembly, display, packing, shipping, and maintenance. I'm not the only one either. Kim Cridler, who was speaking about shipping large-scale sculpture, showed us her box with instructions on top of the box before it was closed for shipping to an exhibition. In her presentation, Shipping Large Sculpture, she described how important it was in her experience to include unpacking instructions, assembly instructions, and display instructions.
So here we are, ready to go to Penland, instructions on top, address. I like to put the dimensions down. Instructions on how to open the box is pretty nice.
Unpacking instructions should be easy to find, perhaps the first thing that you see when the box is opened. In this example, it says, "Please wear gloves," and shows how to remove the artwork from the box. On this box, the unpacking instructions are drawn on the inside flat. Here is a close-up shot. This drawing is fabulous, but written instructions are also fine. On all my boxes, I glue a complete set of instructions to the box, and then include a second set inside the box. This way, if the instructions are lost during installation, there's always at least one complete set with the box at all times, especially for return shipping. This simple box has no unpacking instructions, but there are display instructions. Display instructions should be specific for each artwork. Kim Cridler, in her lecture, Shipping Large Sculpture, says,
One thing that I have learned both as a curatorial assistant and as an artist is you can't be too careful explaining to people how you would like to see your work in the gallery.
If you have no expectations for how the artwork will be displayed, that's fine. But if you do, be specific. Add photos or drawings. If you have a preconceived idea of how the work should be installed or displayed, this information could also be sent to the exhibition sponsor 2 months prior to the show. For packing and shipping, instructions should be specific, detailed, and step by step. Another idea would be to include pictures, either drawings or photos. Experience has taught me that this information is much appreciated and helps assure that artwork is repacked properly. I also assume that many times an exhibition may have inexperienced volunteers. If the staff is professional, they will be impressed by your efforts.
Maintenance instructions should also be very specific. Don't assume anything. If part of the artwork should be polished or plastic cleaned with plastic cleaner, recommend a specific or brand name product. For this artwork, I recommended a specific wax and thus included product information so a collector would know where to buy the wax for maintenance. As mentioned earlier, put a copy of the condition report in the box. And don't forget to make a copy for yourself. When the artwork is returned, you can compare the condition of the artwork with the original condition report. Assembly instructions are very detailed and specific for each artwork.
In the presentation, Custom Shipping Box, Design Your Sculpture for Shipping, it suggests you design for disassembly in the studio while fabricating the work, so that the work can be reassembled at the exhibition location. During the creative process, it's a good idea to design the work to survive the sometimes unpredictable vibration and rough and tumble life of shipping conditions. Consider what will happen if your box is turned sideways or upside down. Work that's not appropriately designed for shipping is much more likely to be damaged and consequently unable to be shown in the intended exhibition. This is especially important if there are heavy components and lightweight or fragile components in the same artwork. Packing and shipping instructions should also be specific, detailed, and step by step. This might include how to disassemble the artwork or pack it in multiple boxes for safe shipping. Another idea would be to include pictures of how you want your work to be repacked. Experience has taught me that this information is much appreciated and helps assure that your work will be returned safely.
Now that we've covered all the documents you need to include in your box, let's quickly review where to find resources for more information. The Professional Guidelines Condition Report and 19 other documents can be found on my website. That's harriet-estelle-berman.info. I realize that's an incredibly long URL, so I made a tiny URL. That's all you need to write down. The Professional Development Seminar about shipping includes 7 presentations. All of the PowerPoint presentations and handouts about shipping will be available on the SNAG website on the Professional Development Seminar page. In addition, PowerPoint presentations from the past 2 years with handouts from the past 7 years are also available. All of this professional development seminar information is also available on the website for Harriet Estelle Berman along with the professional guidelines. These resources are available so artists and makers can learn to be better advocates for themselves and their arts community. The Professional Development Seminar is sponsored by SNAG, the Society of North American Goldsmiths, and MJSA, Manufacturing Jewelers and Suppliers of America. The Professional Development Seminar takes place each year during the SNAG conference. Stay tuned to Ask Harriet for further posts and SlideShare presentations about shipping. Thanks for listening to this presentation, and don't forget to ask Harriet your professional questions.